me.
Well, I'll try.
Which one is Barkley?
Fellow with his back to the stove.
Thank you.
Cattle prices drop off any more like this, pretty soon we'll have to pay them to take our feed.
It'll get better.
Before it gets worse. Howdy. Is this chair occupied?
We're playing poker, mister.
I'd hope so.
For money.
It's the only way to play.
Is that you smelling like that?
Eau de cologne. Makes a good bracer.
I reckon it does. You're making my eyes water, mister.
Freeman. Josiah Freeman.
Oh, this is Carl Wheeler. Dan Kelsey. And
I know who you are, sir. I'd venture to say that so do most in Northern California.
Oh, really?
Cards? Oh, 3, please.
2.
Same.
My bet? I bet $2.
$2. And 3. 5.
Too rich for me.
I'll raise you 20. I'm light $20, shy 20.
Must be some hand you got there, Mr. Freeman.
I'm afraid so.
I'll just call your $20 raise.
Can you beat a pair of 8s?
That all?
I'm afraid so.
Full house.
You win. Well, I owe you $20.
You play poker often, Mr. Freeman?
Oh, all the time. All the time.
Still got a ranch, huh?
If you'll just countersign these both copies, Mr. Barkley, I'll be on my way.
How much is?
Well, it's a note of transfer. Unfortunately, I'm out of currency, and I'm forced to sign over 20 head of prime JF stock to you.
Well, all right. But first thing tomorrow morning, you better deliver that 20 head of prime JF stock, or you're going to be known as the late Josiah Freeman.
Don't worry. You take... Nick Barkley?
Mm-hmm.
You're Jared Barkley.
No, Nick. Jared's my brother, you know?
Not as well as I thought. Are you anything like your brother?
Different as night and day. Now, Jared, he'd even try to reason with a fence post. But Nick here, he'd sooner bust it in 2.
He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty.
What's that?
Proverbs. Try to be more like your brother.
This hem isn't hanging straight.
Audrey, you look lovely.
Isn't that
Thank
just
you.
a trifle formal for breakfast?
Carl's taking me to a dance tomorrow night. If he's in any condition to dance after you kept him out all last night playing poker.
That sounds like...
That's what it sounds like.
Good morning. I just...
walking vermin off my land. Off? They're yours. Mine.
I'm paying my debt.
Not with those, you're not.
But you signed a note of transfer.
I
remember?
signed for cattle. Them are not cattle.
What are they doing here, Nick?
What do they look like?
Where'd they come from?
Well, how do I know where they come from?
I'm sorry, there's been a slight misunderstanding.
Look, I didn't know what I was signing for. You said JF stock. JF stock.
Well, they are JFs.
They are not stock. They're sheep. And they stink. No wonder you came into that saloon smelling like a flower patch in the middle of July.
Well, it's been pleasant visiting with you.
Here, give me that. Jared.
What can I do for you, Nick?
This isn't legal, is it?
Is that your signature?
You know it's my signature.
Well, then I'm afraid it's legal.
But I don't want them.
You've got it.
If there's anything I can do...
I think the best thing you can do is just be on your way.
One thing I can't stand more than sheep, it's a sheep herder.
They'll grow on you.
So you're the only one he couldn't bluff out of that poker game. Is that right, Nick?
Well, the last time I played poker with a man that carries a purse.
Well, just what do you plan to do with these poor little critters?
Drive him to the slaughter, that's what I plan to do.
You know we're right in the middle of a little thing called a roundup.
Tomorrow morning, I'm going to take 2 men off of that little thing and put them on this little thing.
And until tomorrow?
I think they're hungry.
They're not eating on my range.
I hope to get them to slaughter before they starve to death.
Come on, give me a hand.
I got cattle to tend to.
Don't look at me. I have very urgent business to take care of.
I'd better fix my hem.
Shut up.
Did I just ride through a mirage, or are
You
those...
saw just what you thought you saw. And it's taken me all morning to round these mangy things up.
What are you doing, Nick? Branching out?
Come on, get out.
That perfumed character we played poker with last night paid me off in sheep.
Some people might not understand, Nick. They might say the Barclays are hedging their bet. Cattle prices drop off, and the first thing they do is jump feet first into the sheep.
Oh, no, not a chance.
Well, I know that, Nick. Some people might point out that when you came to this valley, you were cattlemen. You went into mining, then vineyards, then sugar beets, and now,
No. The people that know me know I hate sheep just as much as they do.
then get rid of them.
Tomorrow morning, when the sun comes over that rise there, the minute the sun comes over that rise, those sheep are heading for the slaughterhouse.
Good. Because all they need is a foothold.
Who's they?
Sheep herders. You hang on to these sheep, and every sneaking sheep herder within walking distance will be swarming all over this valley. And you know what happens when sheep move into a place.
I know.
It's not fit for cattle or anything else. They chew the grass right down to the roots. The cattle starve, and so do the people who own them. You might say all of us have a stake in what you do.
How many ways do I have to say it? They're leaving tomorrow morning.
Just so you know. The longer they're around, the more people aren't going to believe you mean what you say. Well, too bad you'll have to miss the dance tomorrow night. But you can tell me how those sheep like the butcher's axe when you get back. Thank you.
You're late, Heath.
There are 500 head of cattle scattered all over our range.
What happened?
Well, his sheep wandered down into the draw and spooked our herd.
They are not my sheep.
Well, whosever sheep they are, they just cost us 3 days' work.
Well, I can't watch those useless animals day and night.
Well, then find somebody that can.
Nick,
Why?
from what I hear, a good sheepdog can handle a flock 10 times the size of yours.
Without so much as raising a sweat.
Which is more than we can say for you, Nick.
Well, now, you all tell me, in the middle of cattle country, where am I going to find a sheepdog?
Try the same fella you got sheep from.
No!
Nick, do you want those sheep around here till the end of roundup? 10 or 12 more days?
He'd probably want me to play poker for the dog, and I'd wind up with his whole blasted herd of sheep.
All right, Nick, what's your alternative?
Some more, please.
We're waiting, Nick.
I'll see him first thing in the morning.
Audra, how come we've never had stew like this before?
We've never had lamb before.
Freeman! Freeman? Freeman? Well, hello there. Oh, no, don't be afraid. I'm looking for Mr. Freeman. Freeman. I'm Nick Bartley.
Darn.
Darn.
Oh, Mr. Barkley, what a pleasant surprise.
You win, Uncle Josiah. Here's the dime.
This is my niece, Gail.
I want to buy your dog.
Oh, sorry if you had come a little sooner. I had 2 dogs less than a month ago.
Well, I didn't have any sheep a month ago. I'll give you $20.
What would happen to my flock?
Well, I tried. That's about the best a man can
But
do.
I have a suggestion.
What?
Your sheep were part of mine just a day ago. My dog would have no trouble taking care of them.
You mean combine your flock with my sheep?
I need help. All I ask is a place to sleep and a reasonable amount of food for Gail and myself.
You want to bring your flock over to my range?
Well, you have better grass.
Well, now, wait.
And it would be much safer.
$50, that's my final offer.
Whiskey.
I didn't expect to see you so soon.
Why not?
Well, I figured you'd still be driving those sheep to slaughter.
I got thirsty. Whiskey, come on, come on.
Look, they'll break up my place. They'll put me out of business. I just can't serve a sheep man, not in this town.
Now, you call me that one more time, and I'll tear this place up.
Bah!
Hey, Kelsey, why don't you ask that sheep man to move downwind a little bit?
Sheep man, you're making my friend here sick.
Guess I'm lucky. I got a cold.
Now, when I get back here, I want to see a bottle and a glass waiting for me. All right? Now, are you the gentleman with the cold?
Yeah, well, it don't help much when you get this close.
Well, now, maybe I can fix that. Carl.
fellas.
It's your turn, Carl.
No, not me, Nick.
Well, I guess it's mine.
I knew this was going to happen.
You may pour my drink.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Barkley.
You're the cause of all this, huh? You.
How do you feel, Mr. Barkley?
I'll let you know as soon as I find out who's standing on my face.
We did the best we could.
Thank you.
Gail, run outside and empty the water.
She doesn't smile too much, does she?
Oh, she hasn't found too much to smile about.
Well, 5 will get you 10. My sister will have her giggling as soon as she walks through our front door.
What?
Well, that is, if your offer still holds, my range for your sheepdog.
After what those men did to you?
Well, now, that was a little misunderstanding, is all.
Can I come back yet?
Just as soon as your uncle says yes. Well?
Gail, we're going to stay with Mr. Barkley for a while.
Here's the dime, Uncle Josiah.
Say, is this a private game or can anyone get in?
I think we better start packing. Would you help me with the trunk?
All right, sure.
Fix up your things. Get them together, Gail. Right over here, mister.
Keep making it. Yeah. Is that your peddler's wagon outside?
Part of my checkered past.
How'd you ever find time for the sheep business?
Well, I'm a peddler by trade, a sheep herder by misfortune.
Oh, someone paid you off with them, huh?
Well, the misfortune belonged to Gail's parents. They were under the mistaken belief that open range meant just that. So they settled here with their sheep.
Well, this is cattle country, you know.
Took the cattlemen some months to convince them of that. Mr. Barkley, the day that I stopped here with my wagon to get some water, that barn was burning. Gail's parents, her mother and father, most of the sheep were dead. I heard her crying.
Mama made me hide in the cellar when they came.
Don't forget your doll. The whole thing was so cruel, so senseless.
But you stayed.
Of course I stayed. She had no relatives. I was tired of wearing out the seat of my trousers selling pots and pans. I love her, Mr. Barkley. I love her like she was my own. And in a way she is. Now.
Well, now. You better get going. I want to get into town before dark.
Why are we going to town?
Because we're going to drive our sheep right through the middle of it.
Nick, did you have to drive those sheep right down the middle of the street?
Yes?
Why?
It's against the law to drive them down the sidewalk.
Now, Nick, I want you to listen to me.
I wanted everybody to know.
That you're in the sheep business.
Ah, now you've got it.
All right, Nick, you've got pride. Now, that's just fine. But you're about to take on this entire valley. Do you think you're big enough?
Might be interesting to find out.
Nick, you've seen a range war before. They start just about like this. One fella does one fool thing, like driving sheep into cattle country, and another fella does something a little more foolish, like shooting him. And before you know it, you've got a full-size range war on your hands.
That a fact. That's a war nobody wins, Nick. Everybody loses. Not only men, women, and children, but entire herds, and it never ends.
Those sheep are on our land, Jared, our land. And none of them Jaspers in town are going to tell me what I can or can't do. Those sheep aren't spooking anybody else's cattle, and they're not chewing up anybody else's range. And there's no reason for anybody's feelings to be hurt.
Did that argument convince Carl Wheeler, or did you have to sell him some other way?
What Carl Wheeler thinks doesn't matter.
I'm afraid it does, Nick. Because the entire valley is behind it.
All right. All right, I'll talk to Carl Wheeler as soon as he brings Audra home tonight. Maybe I can talk some sense into him. All right?
Mrs. Barkley,
Yes, Mr. Freeman.
I was just on my way to the herd, and
Oh, wouldn't you like a glass of sherry?
Thank you very much. Gail isn't getting in the way, is she?
Oh, no. She's upstairs helping Audra get dressed.
I appreciate you taking her into the house. Since her parents died, I'm the only one she's had. I know I'm not the ideal person to talk to her about dresses and things that girls want to talk about.
I think you've done very well.
Mrs. Barkley, may I ask you a question?
Yes.
That fight that Mr. Barkley had, those men were his friends, weren't they?
Yes.
Well, why would his friends want to attack him? He's one of them.
Not anymore.
Was it because of the sheep?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I first chose, I mean, when I first thought...
What did you think, Mr. Freeman?
The Barkleys are so big, so powerful, surely no one would dare attack them, even if they did bring a few sheep into the valley.
How long have you lived in the West?
10 years?
Well, that should have been time enough.
For what?
For you to learn that there's no one so big, so powerful, that he can change the hates and prejudices of a lifetime. At least not without a fight.
Your son is a very stubborn man.
Yes, very.
He won't give way.
When Nick is pushed, he pushes back with everything he has.
No matter what the cost?
Well, sometimes it costs more to walk away from a fight than to finish it.
But he cares nothing for those animals.
He's a cattleman, Mr. Freeman. But he's also a man. Now, what do you suppose would happen if tomorrow people decided that we shouldn't mine gold or grow beef?
Do you think his friends would understand that?
No, I don't. I think we all crossed the line today. And none of us can turn back.
That was fun, Carl.
Even after I tromped all over your feet?
With a little practice, you could be a very good dancer.
Well, now, if I had somebody as pretty as you to practice with, I wouldn't mind learning.
Carl.
Hmm?
That fight with Nick.
That wasn't me.
No, but you could have stopped it.
It would have taken a stack of dynamite to pry them apart, and I didn't have any with me.
Still,
Love me?
I haven't decided yet.
But what about Nick?
What?
Do you love him?
That's a silly question.
Audra, I wouldn't have asked it if I thought that. If you love him, then you can help him.
How?
Talk to him. Make him see that his friends are more important than trying to prove some point that ain't even worth proving.
You mean persuade him to give up his sheep?
He'd listen to you.
I doubt that.
It's worth a try.
No, it isn't. Nick's his own man. And I don't like being used. Especially by you.
Audra. As long as Nick has those sheep, there can't be any future for us.
Then I'll just have to take that loss.
Carl. Well, now, we were about to send a search party out for you.
I needed some air. Though it didn't do much good.
You usually come in when you bring Audra home.
Not tonight.
I've been wanting to talk to you.
There's nothing to talk about, Nate.
You're just going to pretend those sheep aren't there, huh?
Look, the rest of us had a meeting today. We came up with a solution to your problem.
Is that a fact?
Just so everybody knows which side you're on, you slaughter those vermin right where they stand.
No.
I figured you'd say that. So we took it out of your hands.
We?
This is my valley, too, Nick. My family sweated and bled for it just like yours. And I'm not going to stand by and see it trampled to death by those sheep. Friend or no friend.
You touch just one of them sheep, Carl, and you're going to find me on your doorstep.
I'm not going anywhere, Nick. And neither are you.
Murderer, huh? Yeah, he had know to make a man a liar.
Hey, Kelsey! Wheeler said anything short of killing.
Somebody's coming!
Josiah.
Feel better now, Uncle Josiah?
Yes.
Audrey's gonna buy me a new dress, but I don't know which one to pick. This one, or this one. Maybe even this one.
They're all very nice. Gail, do you ever think what it would be like to live with a real mother and father? You like it here, don't you?
Audrey's nice, and she smells pretty, too.
Well, you may have to stay here for a while. I've got something very, very important to do, and it might take a long time. And I have to do this without you.
Don't you want to be my uncle anymore?
I'll always be your uncle. I'll always pester you to brush your teeth and clean your plate. Because I love you. No. You be a good girl, and you stay here with the Barkleys till I get back.
You're never coming back.
Of course I am, I promise.
No, you're not. That's just what you were saying.
I was just talking. No, you go inside.
I love you, Uncle Josiah.
I got them all rounded up. Josiah? What's the matter?
I did this. I'm to blame.
What are you talking about?
You didn't win those sheep in that poker game. I lost them.
Full house still beats a pair of eights.
Yeah, but I had 4 eights. That's why I didn't show my hand when you called it. I won that pot.
Oh, I don't get that.
No, it was part of my whole plan. A plan born out of desperation, but no less a trick. I read about Jared Barkley defending a sheep herder in Fresno County, and that's when I got the idea. I figured if I could get your brother Jared into the sheep business, I'd have a partner no one could intimidate.
So you got stuck with me.
Proved a good choice, Mr. Barkley. Too good. Even getting you to protect Gail and my herd, that even worked. I was so clever, so smart. I brought all this on you.
No, no, you didn't bring it on. I brought it on by keeping him, and Carl Wheeler brought it on by killing him.
If you're lucky, you'll kill him. If you're not lucky, he'll kill you. In one way or the other, somebody gets hurt.
Well, he dealt a hand.
You don't have to play the hand. You don't have to play it.
He won't let me keep him. He won't even let me move him.
Let me move them.
Oh, no,
Let me move them.
No, that's exactly what they're waiting for. Besides, you wouldn't last 5 minutes on that trail.
They're my sheep, and I want...
Not the ones I won. Now, you go on back to the house. I know how to handle these people.
You're not going to drive those sheep by yourself.
I can and I will. Furthermore, if I ever find you on my range again, I just might have you arrested for trespassing.
God forgive me. And you too, Mr. Barkley.
Looks like Josiah had a better argument than we did.
Come on up, Nick. Come on. Here, take a swig of this.
Oh.
Feel better?
Oh, yeah. Where is Josiah?
I don't know, but the sheep are gone.
I finally met a man as stubborn and as stupid as I am.
Here, come on. Hey, wait a minute. Where do you think you're going?
I know. The law should take care of this. Well, maybe the law can take care of Josiah's burying.
Now, listen, you keep talking like that, and we won't even offer to come with you.
One fool's enough in any family. Come on, get.
We gonna listen to him?
Does he listen to us?
Let's go.
That's far enough, Freeman. Where's your sheep-loving friend? I'm going through. All we want are those sheep. You get in the way, we'll take you too.
All right, let's get it done.
You hated sheep.
Still do. But you were right. They grow on you.
I didn't want this, Nick!
Then back off!
Odds like this can kill you, Carl.
Throw him down, boys.
This one's yours, Jerry. Tomorrow will be ours.
We'd only be fighting ourselves, Carl, tearing down everything we built.
Tell it to your brother.
He already knows it. Now, what's it going to take to convince you?
Not that you'd care anymore, but cattle prices will be climbing again. Pretty soon you won't be able to see the grass for the beeves on this trip.
Carl!
Then where will your sheep be?
Carl, the people in this valley have been living in their cocoon too long. We've all grown rich and fat and smug, thinking our way was the only way. Well, now that cocoon's been ripped open, whether we like it or not. We've got millions of acres here. Room enough for both cattle and sheep.
See you, Nick.
Carl?
Yeah.
Well, are you just gonna stand there? Or are you gonna help me round up them walking vermin?
Thanks very much for helping us pack.
Well, now, just because you sold off your sheep's no reason you have to leave so soon, you know?
Well, we've taken advantage of you long enough. Mr. Barker, you're a very fine man, and I'm very pleased to have known you.
Well, now, you're not so bad yourself for a sheep herder.
Bye, Mr. Barkley.
Goodbye, dear.
If we'd met that wise man, we could tell him a thing or two about living underwater, couldn't we?
Well, I think it was worth it.
Somehow it always is.